Oke, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Fiks, kembali kita melanjutkan. Akhirnya kita masuk ke babak knockout. Kali ini 32 besar dan pembukanya Afrika Selatan lawan Kanada. Oke. Sorry baru mulai jam segini dan tidak tahu telat ya, alhamdulillah aman aja.
Waspada dan juga tidak terlalu bernafsu untuk menyerang, terutama dari kedua fullback mereka. Ya, kita akan lihat tentunya bagaimana kontra strategi yang digunakan oleh Fiks dengan Dispars. Tadi kita sudah lihat di pernyataan mereka bahwa yang satu sangat yakin bahwa mereka akan tampil siap 2 kali 40 menit atau bahkan lebih. Itu yang dinyatakan oleh Fiks. Sedangkan Dispars mengatakan kami akan tampil sesuai dengan karakter kami, yaitu agresif sebagai tuan rumah. Ini dua pernyataan berbeda, tapi kita akan melihat apakah itu akan terjadi di lapangan, karena biasanya pelatih memberikan sebuah narasi yang berbeda di presscon.
Jadi juga pertemuan antara pelatih tertua di fase knockout ya. Agung Fiks 74 tahun melawan salah satu pelatih termuda yang ada 2 kali ini di SMA.
Baik, pemirsa, kita akan segera saksikan pertandingan babak 3 besar dari FIFA World Cup 2026. Afrika Selatan menghadapi Kanada. Selamat menyaksikan.
Kick off babak pertama sudah dimulai. South Africa atau Afrika Selatan melawan Kanada. Langsung miring ya.
What we certainly have in front of us today is two very athletic sides. Yeah, I think there'll be a real pace to the game. I think Jesse Marsh, especially with that system 4-4-2, they can really trap you in when you're trying to play out with the energy that they have. Don't discount this South Africa side who have shown plenty of character already in this tournament. Early sign of how aggressive and high Canada press, Canada on that occasion. I think that's why Oliver Shea is into the side actually, to give added bit of pace and intelligence out of possession to really press South Africa, make it difficult for them alongside Jonathan David, who was always going to start. This opens up nicely for Liam Miller. He's got Laria wide. Richie Laria prevented from getting the left foot cross in. Three waiting for it. South Africa defend well. Miller. Woodell wins South Africa the goal kick.
Sorry,
His runs from right back. Wants to get forward. It'll be a very interesting personal duel that with Miller.
Yeah. Belum ya.
Could be a break on here for South Africa. Polish just had to
Belum muncul ya, kayaknya belum.
out at the end.
Belum ada peluang yang berarti.
Looked like there might have been a forward run for him there.
Ya, ini.
I think also at this stage, of course, there are no second chances. I think fear factor usually plays a part. There's some caution, of course, at every side, I think. Here's Miller against Woodell again. South Africa at their fourth World Cup. They've never lost more than one game in their three previous occasions at the highest level of the World Game. Only lost one so far here. This is Buchanan.
Aduh.
Well forward, lost his balance. Buchanan just for a moment thought that he might have won the free kick in favour of. Yeah, it was good defensive work from South Africa. For Canada, they're going to ask questions. Maseko and Police will have to get back and track the fullbacks or get forwards for Canada.
Kayaknya udah nih. Langsung muncul statistiknya. Okay.
Hugely talented 20-year-old on the South African defence today plays in MLS with Chicago Fire. It's important to run by Johnston.
Tunggu aja udah ituin.
Dealt with it well.
Clearance.
They're looking to use the gap, I think, that might be left by Johnston. Area on the other side. Goodell quickly closed down by Miller. Somewhat risky defending there by Ocon, but he got away with it. Goodell. All over the top. And Canada are struggling with this. Your shirts join up in support here for South Africa. More for King.
Shoot pertama dari si upset.
Well, initially, before they were in behind 1v1, Magopa didn't quite have the pace. Eventually, Guaya was with the strike. Grepo, easy handling for him, of course. Some positivity for South Africa.
Okay, lanjut ya.
Simple ball over the top. Trouble that Canadian defense. Canada now who press.
Atas Vincent.
Start to snatch at the shot in the end. There's the effort for Mokoena. Guess he did bounce in front of the goalkeeper. Make sure he got the cross. Got both hands behind it. "215 goals were scored in the group stage, which ended dramatically yesterday with that amazing match between Austria and Algeria. Final moments of that particular game.
Gitu. Baik pas keeper ambil. So
goal scoring continued later. Iran eventually were eliminated. With many dramatic moments at this FIFA World Cup 2026. Well, we know Buchanan's got electric pace. Bukasi does excellently well to shepherd that out.
Está cool.
It's that high press again from Canada.
Hati.
Jesse Marsh says we don't just high press to win the ball back. We look to score immediately from the energy they've got top end of the pitch.
Mm.
Moving forward now with Miller. Maria on the outside. Excellent ball run from the left back. The deflection kind enough for South Africa.
Gila hampir.
Another good
Gila.
incision from the Canadians.
Tes.
What was it magnificent defending in the end? Maseko absolutely brilliant, covering his fullback to get across and make the
Wah, kan bukan shot itu.
really been dangerous. Raya was looking to flash that across the penalty area. Stakio, captain of Canada, finds the corner. All his teammates waiting for another delivery. Big kick against Saliba. Gianni Infantino in attendance today, along with Matthias Grafström, the FIFA Secretary General. Nice approach play here from South Africa. Modiba. Off again. For he sees nothing wrong with the challenge from Buchanan.
Wah, janji.
Everybody's first touch being worked feverishly here in the opening exchanges. Miller was really quick.
Hey.
Madura showing that he's equal to that pace. Absolute belief in both these teams that they can advance to the round of 16 today.
Well, I think you can see with the energy that both teams have out of possession, the turnover is so quick, you have to be extremely organised and concentrated when the ball may be not near you and ready for that transition.
Ya, badan. Mereka makanya banyak yang bangun dan memperbangun itu. Masih belum greget nih pertandingannya.
Before the tournament started, Hugo Broos, the veteran head coach of South Africa, said getting out of the group stage would be like winning the World Cup. Johnson.
Hampir.
Just about close ranks there, South Africa.
They're yet to really take off the game. I talked about a little bit of caution in terms of, I think, how you attack, certainly. Just checking each other out, different systems.
Raking pass from Umbakazi. Off again. Wants to return, gets the return. Off again. In there bravely and looks for the pass. Modiba. Top of the shoulder there from the left back. All the way through for Apolis in the end. You can see both sides have variety in their attacking play.
pace. This is so much part of the modern game, of course.
Ush. Aduh. Hampir.
Got to him just a corner for Canada. Could have been so much more. Showing his pace to cover. Mbakasi saw the danger early. Sprinting across. Doing enough. Miller has to do more really with that bit of skill. Fantastic defending once again. Eventually, Liam Miller and Canada weren't afforded the corner. Decision has gone the way of South Africa. Just showing how quick he is on the ball here.
Sudah menit menuju 5 menit ke 15. Lumayan sini.
Made his debut for the senior Bafana side 12 months ago on Mbakasi. Saliba.
Hey.
Steal from Oluchi. Gets out an excellent pass. Just about.
Hampir saja drop sel.
Smartly there, Satuli. He saw Jonathan David alone in the penalty area. He's got to be sharper, quicker with that first touch. Otherwise, again, South African defenders will be there. Stakio. Will take the latest Canada corner.
Corner.
All but one of the South Africa players inside their own penalty area attempt to defend this Canada corner.
Gila itu.
The easiest chance for Jonathan David. No, but with how good he is,
Oh,
he
kalau ini
wanted to do more with that.
lalu
Didn't time
lebar.
properly, came off the end of his toe rather than the instep. Half a chance, I think, for him. 42 goals in 80 caps before today for Juventus striker Jonathan David. Figured in all 3 games in Qatar in 2022. Partnered today by Tani Oluchi, putting a nod over Kyle Larin. Part of 4 changes Jesse Marsh made to the 2011 in the final group match, the defeat to Switzerland. For his being as a coach, Marsh has always preached energy, high pressing. Miller. Johnston. Nicely. Laid out for the back from South Africa. They won't have to try and back themselves because they'll be in those kind of situations numerous occasions today. They can play through that Canada press. It could be an encouraging day for the African qualifiers. A good World Cup it's been for the continent of Africa. Talk about these two nations making history, getting out of the group stage for the first time. This is an all-round historic match because we've never had a round of 32 before at the FIFA World Cup. Extended, of course, from 32 nations 4 years ago in Qatar to 48 across the USA, Canada and Mexico this year. And this standalone today, just the one match. The world is watching.
Oh belum 2
We've actually shown so far South Africa that they are comfortable in possession, and Canada haven't gone for the full press so far, more of a half with Oliver Shehi, Jonathan David just stepping off, allowing South African centre-backs and goalkeeper easy possession. And they've enjoyed that. South Africa looking to switch play when they can. Now the goalkeeper really troubled so far. Loose one from Ombito. So they're looking for that quick ball over the top again.
Benar-benar serangan itu.
Cornelius. Of course, this being the knockout stage now, we have the provision for 30 minutes extra time and penalties to decide our first representative in the round of 16. Miller.
Jangan.
To apply advantage there. Nothing improved for Danny Ramirez, Jessica Alba.
Aduh, ini Jessica Alba.
Two of many stars who have turned up for matches here at the Los Angeles Stadium. Good attempt from the Portuguese referee to allow.
Ini pemain Falcon nanti di Avengers Doomsday. Sama partnernya si Captain America, Sam Wilson.
Two centre backs are both forward for this, Peter and Cornelius. There's a free
Hampir.
What an opportunity. When it was played in, he just didn't get the flight of the ball.
Peluangnya terbuka loh.
Actually, he ends up being too far away from it, glancing it into the thankful arms of Williams. South Africa. They're showing the left back position candidate for a moment here. Ukraine with a shot. It's well blocked. Modibo. Canada will not get a better opportunity to take the lead in this round 32 game than the one that fell for Cornelius. Canada's first attempt on target. Jesse Marsh would have expected better.
Baru yang hydration break. Selalu dia nak gila.
turnover of possession happens so quickly, and that's where both could get some joy in the quick breaks with the pace that they have in the side. I've been impressed with South Africa's possession play. As we see Cornelius' chance. There's not a lot of pace on the delivery, hence why Cornelius has to really catch the flight of it to power that past Williams. Instead, glancing it, it's as if he feels there's a defender right behind him when there wasn't. Player and coach left frustrated. Well, they left off for South Africa. Raised in France, Cornelius with Marseille. Still thinking opportunity with Payne away. And he always is Jesse Marsh, but he does look down. I think he wants a bit more from his side after a cautious start. Edmund Williams, thank you to say, during the translation break, the goalkeeper picture of South Africa. Question that chat would have been about the space that Cornelius found for that close range header. Fans of all ages been richly rewarded at this FIFA World Cup 2026 with a tournament that's averaged almost 3 goals per game. First one here, now that we've reached the knockout phase, could be so important. Bagazi.
Kebetulan ada yang kuliah di sana yang bisa fasih bahasa Korea.
Richie Laria.
Dia udah tahu. Dia bisa
James Lee.
Jadi
Miller. Time and space for Bombito. South Africa edging the possession so far. They only have 31% in their final group match, that crucial win over Korea Republic. So the team who always want the ball.
Oke, lanjut ya.
Pace and energy.
Nggak sih, adaptasi dulu nih, super. Kita tidur cuma 2 jam.
Cornelius. Bombito. Saliba. Quickly closed down. Pass that's
See.
for South Africa, the wide pass that it was on rather than one down the middle.
It had to be played quickly. We'll go back. Moves offside.
Okwena. Driving force in midfield for South Africa.
Patient possession at the back from South Africa. Well, I am slightly surprised that Canada aren't pressing higher. Surely would have looked at that first game against Mexico, the joy the Mexicans got from pressing and causing some mistakes in that back line. Recognising it as well. We'll pick their moments, Canada. Bieber, his cross charge down. Here's Mokoena. Excellent cross. Just through the
Gila.
Miller. Liddell has played Miller pretty well so far. It's been a good battle, hasn't it? Down that side. Johnston. Vito. These two nations have only met once before, some years ago. A friendly in Durban, which South Africa won. Humphrey David doing well. Saliba's pass looking for Miller, kind of easily by Mudau. I think that's been Canada's issue, isn't it? That final pass being cut out by a good defensive unit South Africa have. So every pass has to be accurate. South Africa has rather gone under the radar in recent years. It was until the 74-year-old Belgian Hugo Broos took over. Johnston, excellent challenge from Broos. Covering the left back really well there, the winger. Who took South Africa to the latter stages of AFCON. One after taking over, Hugo Broos is the longest serving head coach in South Africa's football history. 5 years in the job now. Says he will retire at the end of this one. Mind you, he said that at 60. Good years he's had in the 14 years that have elapsed since. He will leave the head coach role, but there is some talk about taking up another role in a scouting position with the South African Federation. All to be determined. But they'll miss him. Tolman, what he's built and the structure around the side. Oh, ball pass. Doubled up hungrily by Saliba. It's routine in the end for Williams. Low Shehi was with the strike. Maqueda did the mistake. That's what Mexico did so well. Lovely ball inside the fullback here. Maria's pace was important there because he was just on the wrong side for a split second or two. It is a South Africa corner. With a little bit more confidence, Maseko really should have driven on, struck with the right foot. Oliver Shehi with the attempt, trying to catch Williams out. Good position from the goalkeeper and nice handling. South Africa winning the initial header. Nothing comes from that. And we remain goalless in Los Angeles. Canada, incidentally,
Siapa ni? Si Iki kan seorang ni lah.
host nation to play a World Cup match outside of their own country. Very much wanted to stay in Canada. You won't be surprised to hear that defeat in their final group match. That they finished runners-up in Group B. South Africa
Jadi macam ni,
Group A
kalau
to Mexico.
dia bersinjung hari.
We've looked very good at this World Cup. So too of the reigning world champions Argentina and France. South Africa press now with Apolis. Excellent defending of the man who is generally seen as Canada's best defender, Bombito. Yeah, you can see why he's come straight back into the side, can't you? Excellent body position defensively. As a judge, to have been a last touch off South Africa there, so goal kick.
Betul.
The World Cup will always bring its shocks and surprises. Shock felt by Turkey to go out at the group stage. Also Uruguay. Standouts, Cabo Verde, in their first ever World Cup, making the round of 32, lying in wait, the world champions Argentina. What a reward for a tremendous performance. Some excellent round 32 games to look forward to as well. Brazil, Japan stands out, as does Netherlands and Morocco. And that lies in wait for the winners of this. Netherlands or Morocco. Or either South Africa or Canada next. Miller. Saliba. Ocon. Not enough to try the trick. Not sure if Hugo Gross will want to see too much more of that. The positioning was. Well, I've got to say, South Africa out of possession have been absolutely outstanding. I've really asked the question, is your touch good enough with the Canada players? It hasn't been so far because we just haven't let them settle at all into any sort of rhythm. Free kick against Sitole. I think that's called letting him know you're there. Sitole. See, I've gone. Some calm defending also.
Saliba was really shaken up by that. Dwayne Rosario, a Canadian international. Heading towards the final 5 minutes of normal time in this first half at the Los Angeles Stadium. The opening match of the knockout stage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Johnston.
Anggaran buat dia.
Over aggressive from Mbagati on Oliver Sheikh.
Yeah, just sometimes you can't win the ball. He's done enough there. He's done really well just to take Oluwaseyi away from goal. Doesn't need to try and win the ball there, and it's given Canada an excellent position to deliver from set piece.
Will be the captain, Stephen Estacchio. We already had one free kick for which they ought to have scored from. And they deliver this time. Referee with a keen eye on the jostling in there. Ronwen Williams.
Oluwaseyi was again in the action. So difficult when there's so many bodies there to angle the header. Bouncing up and over the top of his head.
Yeah.
Slow position for the feet of Williams. Bodies tumbling everywhere, but the referee says play on.
Sekalian.
Albito took a heavy fall, flattered into. Yet to really see that genuine bit of quality in the game. Plenty of endeavour, plenty of energy on both sides, but lacking in a bit of quality and a bit of bravery, I think, in these high pressurised games.
Just feel there's threat for both teams from the wide areas. Miller trying to provide that now. Johnston. See more of Miller than we have of Buchanan. Two wingers for Canada today. Miller's pass. Well, it was the right back to Johnston on the end of that.
Hampir sini.
Talk about a wandering fullback. Alistair Johnston there. For Canada.
Asli kanan.
Johnston did the right thing. Not really the movement was required there from the two forward players.
Stacchio in the corner, plays his club football in MLS in this city with LAFC.
Oh.
Mixture of man-to-man and zonal marking here from the South Africans.
And it's down and almost in.
Done.
Good follow-up save from Williams. Was a combination, maybe. Goalkeeper and defender overlapping, but Canada close once more. Oh, an incredible scramble, wasn't it? Of course, everything will have to be looked at because there is
knees and arms everywhere. Williams was out of the play. Outstanding in there, the block, and then brilliant brave goalkeeping. And Williams taking it in the stomach. Modiba, brilliant. On the line. Just bravery everywhere from the South Africans.
Bombito, the man denied by Modiba. Good alert goalkeeping too from Ronwen Williams. Certainly Canada created the best of the chances so far. Cornelius. Space now for Laria. Miller ahead of it. Here's Liam Miller, promoted to the English Premier League last season with his club Hull City. Oh, Nelly. It's a risky challenge. Canada asking the question of the Portuguese referee, João Pinheiro.
Kenapa?
A lazy off to the leg from the South African defender.
Oh, benturan ya.
Canada won the penalty. Nervy moments for South Africa. VAR check.
Well, he seemed pretty confident. Pinheiro, the referee, stepped across. There. Where he is looking to cross, of course he is. It's just whether it's deemed the contact actually come to Maria as he swings his leg around. Put out. I think the referee's got us absolutely spot on. There wasn't really a challenge there. Maria's leg has gone in between Rodez and naturally, in my opinion.
Yes, I think Modell there clamps his leg before the contact came, but VAR check is continuing here. Carlos del Cerro Grande of Spain in charge of VAR here in LA today. Still in the ear of the Portuguese referee, João Pinheiro. It appears now the check is over. We remain goalless, heading towards half time. Saliba.
Enggak gini.
Time to go back to Williams. Lunchtime kickoff here in Los Angeles. The day is getting a little warmer. It's 20 degrees centigrade at kickoff time. Gone up by 3 or 4 degrees, I would think, now, but no problems for the players out here.
Mungkin jadi tuang.
Used to make the shooting opportunity himself, runs into traffic. Madura gets the free kick. Took the knock. The referee's whistle was in his favour. There's a minimum of 3 additional minutes added on. That time is now concluded. So it's a goalless first half, but Jesse Marsh will be bemoaning the chance in particular for Derek Cornelius, a close range header. But no power on it. It was an easy save for Ronwen Williams. South Africa.
Oke, itu babak pertama selesai dan skornya masih 0-0 ya.
Difficult save to make thus far. Two pretty evenly matched sides in the first match in the round of 32 at the FIFA World Cup 2026. 0-0 at play.
Sports Club Under 17 2026 datang segera hanya di TVRI Nasional dan TVRI Sport.
Tadi dulu bentar pemain soalnya.
Yang pemirsa tidak ada gol tercipta di babak pertama, sementara ini Afrika Selatan 0 dan kembali saya akan berbicara dengan Teguh Marabes dan juga Ibam Heri. Mas Teguh, kalau melihat tadi memang tidak terlalu banyak peluang, tapi di akhir pertandingan intensitas serangan yang dilakukan oleh Kanada cukup menyulitkan bagi Afrika Selatan. Ya, saya mencatat memang di menit-menit pertama justru Afrika Selatan yang berinisiatif untuk melakukan penyerangan ya. Tapi setelah 10-15 menit kemudian Kanada bisa menemukan ritmenya dan mereka banyak sekali melakukan tekanan baik melalui sayap kanan oleh Buchanan dan juga dari sayap kiri melalui Miller. Jadi yang sedikit merepotkan pertahanan dari Afrika Selatan. Tetapi pertahanan Afrika Selatan beberapa kali ketika sudah terjadi ada kesempatan untuk menendang bola di dalam kotak penalti, beberapa kali terjadi interception yang sangat baik ya dari defenders Afrika Selatan. Ya. Ini yang membuat mereka sedikit tertolong. Walaupun memang di menit-menit akhir tadi seperti Tio sebutkan, ini serangan lincah dari Kanada ini hampir saja membuahkan gol ya. Ya. Ada 3 blocks yang bisa dimentahkan dan juga ada sedikit kontroversi apakah itu penalti atau tidak. Ya, kalau menurut Ibam, ya
memang nampaknya bagi Afrika Selatan mereka tahu bahwa Kanada akan keluar menyerang seperti yang dilakukan ketika mereka juga menjalani itu. Tapi yang terlihat adalah bagaimana Kanada tampaknya tidak ingin kembali ke lambang panas seperti di laga terakhir ketika mereka pada ini kalah atas Switzerland. Jadi memang dan sekali bagaimana mereka ini memiliki tensi yang begitu baik ketika memasuki area pertahanan lawan dan secara penciptaan peluang juga mereka cukup beragam meskipun memang peran Liam Miller ini begitu dominan ya di sisi kiri dan interchange posisinya bersama Jonathan David begitu baik. Namun memang benar seperti Bung Dulu katakan, timing, defense dan cover dari South Africa luar biasa sempurna dan sejauh ini mereka bisa terus menutup ruang sehingga tidak banyak ruang dan space yang didapatkan oleh pemain Kanada.
Ya, kita tentu akan melihat bagaimana highlights pertandingan di babak pertama bagi Anda yang tentunya mungkin melewatkan di awal pertandingan justru Afrika Selatan tampil sangat dominan, beberapa kali mereka mampu mendekati gawang dari Kanada, Mas Teguh. Ya, memang ketika menit pertama mungkin Kanada belum terlalu in ya dengan pertandingan ini dan juga mungkin pressure yang mereka terima juga begitu tinggi sebelum pertandingan. Tetapi setelah itu mereka sedikit demi sedikit mulai untuk bisa membangun serangan dan juga memang ini yang kita khawatirkan ya tadi ya karena beberapa kali serangan dilakukan ini seharusnya terjadi gol ya. Ini ruang yang bebas sekali bagi Kanada untuk mencetak gol dan ini salah satu momen di mana memang konsentrasi pemain-pemain belakang Afrika Selatan sedikit buyar ya ketika mereka memang ada muncul pemain dari belakang untuk melakukan sundulan. Ya, tadi ada satu momen ada 3 penyelamatan ya dilakukan oleh pemain belakang termasuk penjaga gawang.
Ya luar biasa kembali bagaimana konsentrasi dan para pemain Afrika Selatan ini terjaga penuh dan mereka juga bisa menutup setiap tingkah di pertahanan. Sebenarnya juga kalau kita melihat dari open play mungkin Kanada memang menciptakan peluang, tapi kalau kita membandingkan peluang terbaik mereka justru ketika dalam situasi bola mati ya. Tadi tendangan bebas yang membuat Cornelius gagal untuk meniru sempurna dan ini dia bagaimana perlu terjadi dan ada upaya dari Buchanan melakukan follow up tapi kembali penjaga gawang mereka tampil begitu baik ya.
Ya,
peluang ini benar-benar bisa mengkomando dengan terbaik.
Peluang dari Bombito, kemudian Buchanan, kita lihat juga ada sebuah tendangan dari Estacio. Jadi tampaknya memang ada satu insiden penalti yang memang dinyatakan tidak penalti, Mas Teguh. Ya, memang saya tadinya sedikit mengharap paling tidak itu akan dilakukan VAR ya. Tetapi kalau dilihat dari keterangan yang diberikan atau pandangan dari wasit, mungkin kaki dari pemain depan ya dari Kanada itu sedikit memang sengaja mendorong untuk terlihat untuk disengkat seperti itu ya di atas seperti itu. Sehingga memang keputusannya tanpa melalui VAR itu langsung dinyatakan tidak penalti. Saya tadi mengharapkan ada sedikit VAR. Nah, kita akan lihat bagaimana statistik pertandingan 0-0 skor sementara di babak pertama. Position control 48/45, ada time at goal 3/8, sedangkan attempt on target 1/4. Dan Asia sangat kecil ya 0,14 dan 0,75. dan Korea terjadi 1,3. Tidak banyak peluang dan memang seperti berkutat di pertarungan lini tengah.
Ya, kita lihat juga bagaimana passing komplit dari Afrika ini lebih banyak dibanding Kanada. Tapi yang membedakan dari 203 passing komplit Afrika Selatan, 198 di antaranya mereka passing di area sendiri.
Ya.
Sedangkan bagi Kanada dengan 158 passing komplit lebih besar passingnya berada di area pertahanan lawan. Ini sangat menunjukkan bagaimana Kanada memang berupaya ya untuk bisa menginvasi pertahanan dari Afrika, tapi Afrika Selatan begitu rapi dalam melakukan aksi pertahanan.
Ya, Mas Teguh melihat penampilan dari Afrika Selatan menghadapi Kanada, apakah sudah ada ekspektasi Anda untuk sebuah pertandingan di babak 32? Kedua kesempatan saya pikir terutama Afrika Selatan tampil sangat hati-hati, mereka tidak ingin kecolongan mungkin di babak pertama. Tetapi apa yang dilakukan oleh Afrika Selatan, possession mereka sedikit lebih unggul, ya walaupun shots on target itu lebih unggul Kanada karena serangan mereka lebih baik. Tetapi itu lagi serangan dari Afrika Selatan sedikit terlihat lebih efisien ya. Ketika mereka kemudian keluar menyerang, ketika mereka tahu betul bahwa Kanada itu ketinggalan pemain-pemain yang rajin menyerang, itu selalu 4 lawan 3 atau 4 lawan 4 itu selalu situasinya berbahaya. Ya, inilah evidence Mark Gopa dengan Jonathan David.
Ya, memang ini dua pemain yang berada di posisi yang sama, pun bagi Mark Gopa tidak banyak kesempatan yang ia miliki di babak pertama tadi. Bahkan kalau kita lihat, dia hanya melakukan satu sentuhan ya di area pertahanan lawan. Jadi memang sangat jomblang dengan apa yang terjadi pada Jonathan David. Dia betul nyaman dengan menguasai bola di depan kotak penalti Afrika Selatan. Namun sayangnya juga Jonathan David kadang beberapa momen terlambat dalam mengambil keputusan. Termasuk pada momen di menit ke-24 dia sudah melakukan pasti dalam kotak penalti, namun ekstra kontrolnya itu membuat bola terlebih dulu untuk dicegat oleh para pemain Afrika Selatan.
Ini tugas dua striker yang tidak bisa berjalankan dengan baik ya. Iya, memang kedua pemain ini tidak terlalu menonjol ya di babak pertama. Tetapi saya mencatat permainan Kanada ya, mereka high pressing line itu benar-benar high ya. Ketika saya melihat bahkan sampai 4-5 pemain itu berada di bagian permainan dari Afrika Selatan. Ini yang mungkin secara defensif ini menguntungkan ya. Tetapi ketika mereka memegang bola, ini transisi yang dilakukan oleh pemain-pemain Kanada, peluang-peluang yang diciptakan itu kurang efektif ya. Walaupun memang ada seharusnya satu yang menjadi gol. Ya, tetapi seharusnya Kanada kalau melihat pertandingan terdahulu, harusnya mereka bisa lebih kreatif, ya, lebih sabar, lebih judgementnya mereka harus lebih baik lagi. Karena kita tahu bahwa Afrika Selatan pemain-pemain belakangnya itu sangat lugas ya. Ya, tadi Anda katakan kurang kreatif, apakah perlu perubahan yang signifikan? Karena ini bukan lagi fase grup, karena kalau salah tentu mereka akan tersingkir. Ya, saya rasa perubahan pasti diperlukan di babak kedua. Kalau kita lihat tadi striker forward dari mereka itu kurang begitu efektif. Ya, mungkin mereka bisa melakukan pergantian pemain depan. Karena saya rasa tidak ada gunanya bertahan ya di pertandingan ini. Betul. Kita lihat dulu bagaimana final third entries ini dari Kanada, sepertinya dari dua sayap mereka sangat dominan juga.
Ada Liam Neeson juga Richie Levea yang aktif untuk bisa membuat jumlah pemain mereka di area kanan pertahanan Afrika Selatan selalu lebih banyak. Karena di sisi kanan penyerangan agak disayangkan Alistair Jackson kurang bisa mensupport dari Buchanan, sehingga Buchanan kerap dalam situasi 1 lawan 2. Jadi kita lihat bagaimana jumlah penetrasinya dan jumlah upaya menyerangnya lebih berdominan dari sisi kiri Kanada sendiri. Dan memang sejauh ini juga penampilan dari Ostakio ya sebagai gelandang tengah lebih condong dalam memberikan bola ke area kiri pada ini.
Sedangkan Afrika Selatan seperti kesulitan Mas Teguh kalau melihat dari final third entry mereka seperti tidak terlalu banyak mengancam Kanada. Ya, memang mereka mungkin pola penyerangan ini memang menunggu apa yang dilakukan oleh Kanada ya. Karena kalau misalnya dalam situasi normal, saya rasa mereka cukup sulit dengan kemampuan penyerang mereka untuk membongkar pertahanan Kanada ketika mereka tampil full defense. Tapi saya ingin mencatat bahwa memang ini dimungkinkan karena kenapa dia Kanada lebih bisa serang lewat lini kiri. Ya, karena saya mencatat bahwa lini kiri daripada Afrika Selatan, Mobiba, ya, ini jauh lebih baik dibandingkan dengan ketika bek kanan mereka Mudau. Ya, ini yang membuat Liam Miller dari Kanada ini bisa tampil dengan melakukan tusukan-tusukan di sayap kiri. Baik, nanti kita lanjut lagi pertandingan babak kedua tentunya pemirsa di FIFA World Cup 2026. Saat lagi Afrika Selatan berarti Kanada akan kembali ke sana.
Le football were a nation. Elle serait la plus grande du monde.
Now we won't go on stages.
No matter who you are, Kita apaixona football, pertenece. Football unites the world.
El fútbol une el mundo.
Babak 32 besar FIFA World Cup 2026. Brasil melawan Jepang. Live di TVRI Nasional dan TVRI Sport.
Ya, pemirsa, masih di Los Angeles Stadium, tempat berlangsungnya pertandingan antara Afrika Selatan menghadapi Kanada. Bagi Anda yang baru bergabung, selamat bergabung bersama kami ke Ferry. Nah, tentunya masih belum ada gol kita. 0-0. Lantas seperti apa jalan pertandingan babak kedua? Ini akan sangat menarik karena kita tahu Afrika Selatan memang sangat rapat. Ya, penjaga gawang bahkan 3 atau 8 mereka mendapatkan nilai cukup tinggi di babak pertama.
Ini menunjukkan bagaimana mereka tidak hanya bertahan dengan baik, tapi juga mereka bisa bertahan dengan kolektif. Nah, kalau kita melihat kayak juga mereka ini cukup pandai dalam mengatur game-game. Jadi dia tahu kapan harus menekan, kapan harus memang bersabar di belakang, dan itu terjadi di babak pertama. Kita melihat ini Bung Teguh sudah mengatakan di 5 menit 10 menit awal mereka berada di karena ini memanfaatkan momentum ketika diharapkan Kanada belum berkonsentrasi. Dan setelah itu mereka sadar Kanada akan berbahaya dan mereka menunggu di belakang.
Ya, tadi saya baru di offline mengatakan di mana Ismail Kone, baru ada gambarnya. Ismail Kone ada di dalam ruang ganti dan tampaknya juga memberikan motivasi pada rekan-rekannya karena dirinya memang bagian dari tim ini.
Iya, ya ini benar-benar kehilangan besar ya. Apa namanya, kehilangan Ismail Kone karena dia memberikan sedikit pelindungan untuk melakukan pertahanan, baik dari segi midfielder maupun dari segi defender. Jadi saya rasa Ismail Kone ini krusial bagi Kanada. Kanada memang tidak seberuntung tim lain ya, karena pemain-pemain kunci mereka, Alphonso Davies juga sampai sekarang belum ditampilkan. Jadi saya rasa apapun yang dilakukan Kanada ini mereka harus lebih kreatif. Mungkin mereka bisa mengganti 1-2 pemain ya, di awal babak kedua, atau mungkin mereka akan menunggu apakah Jonathan David ini bisa muncul ke performa terbaiknya ya, di 15-20 menit pertama, dan setelah itu baru dilihat apakah memang diperlukan penggantian atau tidak.
Ya, kalau menurut Bang, kalau dari sisi pemain cadangan, siapa yang akan lebih dalam perubahan skema pertandingan atau gameplay?
Mungkin kalau kita berbicara siapa yang paling dalam, Kanada sedikit lebih dalam. Tapi kalau kita berbicara siapa pemain yang mungkin bisa mengubah pertandingan, saya rasa ada satu nama dari Afrika Selatan yang perlu dikedepankan. Lil Foster, striker asal Burnley yang cukup baik dan bermain di Premier League dengan 3 golnya. Itu bisa saja menjadi pembeda karena dia adalah sosok yang bisa melakukan hold up di depan. Karena ketika kita melihat Afrika Selatan ini bertahan, kurang pemain yang bisa menjaga bola di depan. Dan sebuah dengan adanya Lil Foster itu bisa menjadi pengobat dari hal itu secara bagi Kanada sendiri. Saya rasa juga striker utama mereka, striker senior mereka, Kyle Lari dikedepankan. Pemain yang kedua juga berlatih bersama Southampton ini sudah terbukti di laga pertamanya bisa mencetak gol ketika Kanada saat itu buntu.
Ya, justru Bata ya dipersiapkan di babak pertandingan. Apakah ini akan menjadi satu perubahan yang tentunya akan mengubah jalannya pertandingan?
Iya, Bata memang tadinya saya perkirakan akan tampil sebagai starter ya. Tetapi kemudian yang tampil adalah Mokoena dan juga Sito.
Ya.
Ini yang mungkin membuat pelatih dari Afrika Selatan ini berpikir lagi di babak kedua, karena memang Sito sama sekali tidak terlihat perannya ya, walaupun ada satu kali melakukan intercept. Dan saya pikir Mbata yang bermain di Orlando Pirates ini dengan naluri yang lebih untuk keluar menyerang, disertai dengan kemampuan bertahan yang baik, saya rasa mungkin bisa memberikan lebih keseimbangan, apalagi menghadapi high pressure line yang diterapkan oleh Kanada.
Ya, karena memang kita lihat dari cara mereka bertahan, mereka sangat rapi ya, South Africa. Hanya saja memang dalam sistem penyerangan atau efektivitas, produktivitas mereka sangat rendah. Di fase grup mereka menciptakan 2 gol. Jadi akan terlihat apakah perubahan itu akan nyata, Bang.
Ya, tentunya akan menjadi tantangan sendiri bagi Gas Emas, karena secara permainan Kanada ini sudah berupaya baik. Dari open play mungkin serangannya tidak sebaik set piece, tapi mau bagaimanapun mereka sudah berhasil menciptakan 7 shot dan itu 4 kotak juga ada 17 sentuhan di dalam kotak penalti Afrika Selatan serta ada 3 big chance. Yang masih menjadi kurang dari Kanada adalah bagaimana finishing mereka, sisi finishing mereka yang belum kelihatan. Kalau itu bisa dibenahi, saya rasa Kanada harusnya bisa mendapatkan gol di babak keduanya.
Ya, Mata masuk tentunya di babak kedua ini menggantikan Mofokeng. Kita akan melihat apakah ini ada perubahan yang tepat bagi Afrika Selatan menghadapi Kanada. Pemirsa, inilah babak kedua. Di babak 3 besar, Afrika Selatan menghadapi Kanada. Selamat menyaksikan.
Circumspect would be a word that you could apply to that first half. No risks taken really. A few chances created. Really yet to work. Maxime Crepeau in the Canada goal is Madua. Well, you just wonder, don't you, whether there was a slight injury at Mofokeng, because it was such a good first half performance from South Africa. Didn't give away too many chances. Matek given an opportunity, maybe a slight injury from Mofokeng. Here's Johnston. Just about kept that in, Flaxday down, and Miller way wide of the target. Wonder whether Alistair Johnston actually kept that ball in. It was so close, wasn't it? Would have been looked at like it may well have done, but still, Miller wasn't to know. He bounced towards him. Awkward technique to use. Didn't do very well. Ocon. Heavy pressure here. Smooth back pass to goalkeeper Williams there. Miller. Vidal. Full pass by Maseko. Little space in midfield now for Saliba. Energetic first half. It's a foul by David.
Well, I think with that change, there has been a slight shift in the formation for South Africa. Only slightly. Mofokeng was playing as a 10 behind the striker. We've now gone with Sitole sitting, two midfielders more advanced. We want a little bit more support to Magoba.
Maseko. Okay, moves the way of South Africa. Canada creating history along with South Africa, making the knockout stage for World Cup for the first time. 4 points for the Canadians to get here today in the round of 32 was the fewest by a home nation to qualify for the World Cup group stage since the USA, who also got through with 4 points in 1994. South Africa 4 points for the third time at a World Cup. This time, they progressed. South Africa injury here, which is delaying the Canada throw. Slight follow through on the foot, wasn't there? But as we've seen in this tournament, the referee asking the player, does he want to go off and then have to wait for a minute? And he doesn't, so the game can continue. It's a very good addition to the game there. New ruling. Number of tweaks to the rules to prevent time wasting, speed the game up. Canada looking to profit from the long throw. Laria to Miller. Saliba. Johnston. Mr. Johnston will look the Celtic defender for another long throw here. Every minute in Qatar 2022, we throw in taker. O'Shea able to direct his header into a troublesome area for South Africa. Anything to do here for Laria. He puts his head in there first. And the referee has penalised South Africa.
Yeah, Mata, it was just raising his foot, trying to get a touch. Laria with the header away. It's fallen into a similar pattern, hasn't it, to the first half? On both sides, I don't think really, at the moment anyway, are willing to really risk too much, risk that extra player getting forwards to make those overloads needed to cause problems defensively for the other side. Plenty of substitutions as well that can make a big difference as we go into the latter stage of the game.
Yep, the timing those substitutions could well be key today in this round 32 match. Both sides have had a good look at one another in terms of plan A and see if either have got a plan B to find the breakthrough. Okay, against Richie Laria. Compacted fullback.
You just can't go through the back of a player to get the ball, even if you do get a touch.
Ocon. Nadal. Oh, two nutmegs there from the right back. You don't forget that. The yellow card, first of the game for Saliba. Yellow cards, incidentally, were taken away after the group stage. But that was impish from Nadal.
Would you get an extra prize if you get two in a row? I mean, that was brilliant, wasn't it?
You should have. Absolutely deserving of an extra prize. So confirmation of Nathan Saliba's yellow. Fielder from Anderlecht. And almost 10 minutes of the second half. There's been no attempt on either goal since the restart. Williams asking for movement. This is nice from South Africa. Was it good? Plenty of yellow shirts forward here. Vidal. Bogassi. What say? Wide left for South Africa. Good clean hands from Kupo. Half an opportunity opened up for South Africa, didn't it? With that delightful football that they played to cut through midfield. Again, that final ball just wasn't there. That's what's been missing for both teams thus far. Seko taking too long to get his pass away. It's a free kick here to Canada. The president watches on, and we wonder whether this is going to be a first goalless draw for both these nations in the World Cup. I think just falling on the heel here. Maseko caught up there. Maseko. Jesse Marsh is going to make a couple of substitutions. We're going to see the departure of Moise Pompito and Nathan Saliba, who picked up that yellow card a few moments ago. Players are going to arrive for Canada off the bench. It's going to be Luke de Fougereau and Nico Siguro. They were expectant, fans of both Canada and South Africa, that we might get a breakthrough. But they're finding their own entertainment at the moment. So here come the changes. Young defender Luke de Fougereau, born in England, moved to Canada at a young age, only 20. He was in Belgium with Dender. Saliba off. As I mentioned, Bombito too. And the other arrival is Nico Siguro, plays in Croatia with Hajduk Split. So he played 16 minutes so far at this World Cup. Siguro. Well, not exactly the attacking changes that maybe we would have thought of at this stage. Brito, I think, probably had around 60 minutes and come back from injury. And of course, that yellow card for Saliba, taking no chances. Cornelius. Space to turn into for Oliver Shea. Jonathan David. Miller. referee there immediately signals João Pinheiro. There's nothing really he could do to do his best to try and get out of the way of this. Cornelius obviously incensed, but maybe the deflection from the referee helped him get the ball anyway. Does have the look of a match where the first goal could be so important. Defence has largely been on top. Frustrated with Williams again, but slow the play down a number of times today. Miller. Modiba. Another time challenged by Figueroa. Over the target of the long ball from Williams. Modiba. Bogazzi. Without. So very kindly for South Africa. Shot on. No direction from the right foot shot from Apolis. Oh, it opened up though, didn't it? He used the run to cut inside. Struck it well. Brickbot really did leave it. Was convinced that it was a long way wide. Wasn't that far. Did just bend away though. Apolis with his strike. A record of a goal every 3 games for South Africa. Oswin Apolis. South Africa will be looking to up that tally of attempts on target. Space in midfield here now for Canada. Buchanan the target for the pass. Quick though he is, couldn't get there. But he has earned his side of throw. Mbakasi again with the pace to cover, reading the game well. The centre back. Even the pace of Buchanan wasn't enough there. Another Alistair Johnston long throw here for the Canadians. So after defended those long throws comfortably so far. A reminder, 30 minutes extra time, penalties if needed. To decide our first side through to the round of 32 at the FIFA World Cup 2026. Standalone game today. A couple of great games tomorrow. Brazil, Japan, Netherlands, Morocco on paper at least. Canada, can they find a route to go now? It's got it up, surely now, brilliant defending. Absolutely outstanding defending from Mbakasi. Canada denied. Just fantastic, the desire to keep the ball out of your net. Shea ball through. Shea with the chance, brilliant save by Williams, and then Umbergazit. Unbelievable. That save was stunning from Williams, and then the defender just wanted it and had to still steer it away from goal. Did so excellently. Stukio will take the Canada corner. It was header won by the Figueroa, but couldn't direct it on target. Shea denied. It was a really good save, as you said, from Longman Williams. And then that tremendous defending. The referee's view just showing how fantastic, first of all, the save was from Williams, and then the clearance from Mbakasi. And that's why Mbakasi is so highly rated. 20-year-old, he's in the United States with Chicago Fire. But all the meaningful chances have fallen the way of Canada here today. It will remain goalless in Los Angeles. Might be an offside there. It's Buchanan, but Frank staying down at least for now. It's going to be a booking. Substitute Sigura.
Iyileşme. Ama iyileşme yapıyorlar.
And we've reached the second half hydration break. South Africa haven't had an attempt on target since the 6th minute of the match. Jesse Marsh beside a bit closer. Yeah, there seems to be a little bit more then before this hydration break. Don't know whether it has been a tactic to try and sap a bit of energy from the South Africans and then look to bring on some reinforcements, fresh legs towards the end of the game. Just upped it slightly, Canada, and they needed to. This was the big chance, of course it was. Shea was through. You're being critical, of course, you wanted to find the corner. Williams with the save, but he's under immense pressure from O'Connor. Look, he's just got his arms across his face almost to make it difficult for the striker to see where he's putting it. Mbakasi is just outstanding. I mean, Jonathan David has to get probably seriously hurt there, throwing his head in. Mbakasi just slightly quicker. Jesse Marsh is going to make another couple of substitutions. Taking Liam Miller out. And also Oliver Shea, who had that good opportunity a moment or two ago. Ball's coming in. Will be Jacob Schiffelberg. Probably St. David. It's the end of all the sheet. Staring at the headlines in that last Canada attack. Opportunity for Shuttleberg. Dubbed the Maritime Messi by the Canadian media. Only a danger off the left flank, replacing Miller in that position. Thomas David scored after just 72 seconds off the substitutes bench against Switzerland in the group stage. A different profile of player, isn't he, to Sheehy, with an added bit of height from set plays. It could become crucial now as we get towards the latter stages of the game. Two Davids up front now for Canada, Promise and Jonathan. Jonathan Davids only had 4 touches of the ball in his second half. Seko trying to buy the free kick, but didn't simply that. Seko wants to tread carefully, the substitute on that yellow card for Canada. It's quite warm now at the Los Angeles Stadium. Won't get high humidity on the west coast. If we go through to 30 minutes extra time, both these sides will play in much more trying conditions than this.
Jam sini start time ni.
Bruce, who was part of the Belgian squad that finished 4th in the World Cup in 1986, former centre-back.
Ni je, biar ni. Asli dulu.
They've just been truncated by a number of stoppages for free kicks. Segura it was who just couldn't get there quick enough. The Canadian strikers looking to press the goalkeeper. Of course, Ronald Williams is just trying to tease them out of shape and trying to find a pass between the lines, but it hasn't really worked, this tactic so far for South Africa. That's just testing the footwork of the South Africa captain. Passes the test and batter. Good forward pass, space, not to it on the South Africa left. They've got an overload, perhaps. Headed down is decent. Canada's struggling to fill the gaps. No introduction for Crepeau as Canada prepared to make another change. But the early chance, wasn't it? The left foot. Madiba needed to be better across when it was headed back down. You're going away from goal. Sitole, who was with the effort in the end. Open over to John Newton has gone off. And there's a huge roar from the Canadian supporters. The first sight of Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich. Normally the Canada captain, injury and a really nasty ACL problem earlier in the year, and he's recently been troubled by a hamstring problem as well. Well, his introduction now with a catalyst to Canada getting over the line. We all know the quality Alphonso Davies has.
Well, he is their best player. He's the star, isn't he? Of course, they will have missed him. Can he make the difference?
We know he's got the quality too, that's for sure. But a lot of his career as a left back, but he's going to play higher than that with Laria operating in that defensive back forward. So Davies will be looking to influence the play further up the pitch. And here he is in possession. It's a good early pass as well. And just a whistle wide. Arrived nicely for Promise David.
But it did the setback from Jonathan David into his path to strike towards the corner. Williams had it covered. It wasn't the cleanest of strikes. It was always just curling away. Could have lent it to Schaffelberg as well, to his right. But Alphonso Davies already having an influence. Great ball in towards Jonathan David.
The attendance just being announced here at the Los Angeles Stadium. Not far short of 70,000 again. Interesting call from Jesse Marsh to bring Promise David on ahead of Kyle Larin. David, less experienced. Davies. Now his XG, actually more than that of their opponents, as they have had the meaningful chances. Johnston needs to be careful, and was. Played every minute so far in the World Cup, Alistair Johnston. Cornelius. Davies hungry for the ball. Stakio. Alphonso Davies. Neat little pass. Whipped away by Williams at the near post. He's only been on, what, less than a couple of minutes. He's already lifting this Canada performance.
Này kita jam 4 lah ya. Lumayan lah. Agak jangan.
One thing that South Africa have become under Hugo Broos is mentally tougher. They're going to need to see out these minutes now. Canada are on top.
Malah Kanada yang naik.
The winners of this round of 32 match play the winners of tomorrow's game between the Netherlands and Morocco. That will be in Houston on July 4th, America's 250th birthday. Davies. Canada trying to keep the tempo high now. realise that I've got the South Africans on the back foot. Johnston. Figaro. Offering the width again is the Canada captain, Alphonso Davies. No surprise, he's the go-to man. Ball clearance from South Africa. Yeah, they're just starting to get a good grip on the game, Canada. They've just got to keep this pressure, momentum, really test the concentration for South Africa players defensively. Alistair Johnston. Decent cross. Away by Mudau. Just need some possession here, South Africa.
Isang kopi pun dengar. Udah. Ini ada David.
David denied a little earlier. Just tried to use pace to be brilliant at his near post. High into that near post top corner. Not quite high enough. Again, slow positioning from the goalkeeper. Johnston's pass could be a really good one. Just lacking an extra attacker there. Thomas David was just waiting for Jonathan David to arrive. Chance in the opening was gone. This is where you've got to deal with the emotions of the World Cup from South Africa's perspective. You're not seeing a great deal of the ball in the last 10 minutes. This time. Prosecco. Now they can get out. Not for long. Davies. Defending from Mudau.
Berapa?
No.
Brazil apa?
Afrika Selatan Kanada.
Upset. Babak kedua.
Evidence Magopa is going to be taken off shortly by Hugo Broos.
Berarti memang
is going to be his replacement.
32 itu bagus ya. Kanada kan di Amerika ya. Asia, ya.
Magopa. Apolis.
Wish. Jauh juga tuh.
Handled well. Canada finding gaps again. Away by Mudau.
kuning Afrika Selatan.
Yeah.
Sensing that a goal is just around the corner for them. Davis, no way through for the Canada captain there. Next stoppage in play will be a double substitution for South Africa. Portuguese referee gives the South Africans a free kick. Carries the ball well. Apple the important role he's got right now. So Ringers and Morini. The players on. Sepang Morini, striker. So too is Ikram Ringers. Off goes Magoba.
Okay.
He's run his heart out along that front line. Would have liked some more service, obviously. But an honest performance from him.
Nanti dulu deh.
This player making way is Maseko. Built attacking changes. Fresh legs. Top end of the pitch for South Africa. Well, for all the substitutions, it's your opportunity, isn't it? To be the hero of your nation. Good defending. Really good. And it's that player again, Mbogana. You talked earlier about his reading of the game. He's got a lot, hasn't he? He's athletic, quick. That reading of the game for one so young. What a brilliant player he is. Really caught the eye, hasn't he? Look at him. He's needed to as well. A couple of times been left on his own to defend. Read the situation, used his pace as well. 3 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Could be heavy on the first match of the knockout stage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 for extra time. Unless there's a moment's inspiration or perhaps an error that decides it. And there's Alfonso Davies, not one of his better crosses, and South Africa can get out of here. A bit empty in midfield for a moment, Canada. All gone. And Bagazi.
Nggak tahu nih ya.
It'll be a throw to Canada, will it? No, very well kept in. And Rodiba. No real sign of adventure from South Africa. Are they going to settle for extra time? It would appear so. Apple might have other ideas. It's a good pass. Just to Figueroa was out of position, but he reacted very quickly. South Africa lucky to come again, but they're denied by the referee's whistle. Well, at this level, it's a chance to be pretty perfect. It's just off by Raiders. And it allowed Figueroa's opportunity to step in. They had the fine margins. We've seen it all, even worse. Let's see more of this World Cup with South Africa after today. Great line, I repeat again before the World Cup. If we get out of the group stage, it will be like winning the World Cup for South Africa. It will be very unpopular to take the next step. It's incumbent on Canada to merely press the goalkeeper occasionally. They haven't really done so. And Williams has had that cheap possession at the back. Well, to me, it seems that Canada are worried that if they do go players, they get played through. The pace that South Africa have on the play will help them. Minimum of 5 extra minutes. Jonathan David. Davis ahead of him. It's not a good pass, though. Allowed Rubel to make the interception. Sigur. This is going nicely. That's the kick.
Wah. Tahan. Hah? Masuk. Kanada.
Steven Ezekiel.
Hmm.
Hull City plays for LAFC. It's almost certainly now delivered Canada a place in round 16 in their historic journey at this FIFA World Cup 2026 set to continue.
Sembilan satu.
He just traps it with his chest down to the ground and then gets right over it to keep it low. That's a classic. And zip it. That's Williams. You have absolutely no chance of saving it. The captain, Ezekiel,
Oh gila.
with outstanding bit of tactical ability from the edge of the area. Could well have put Canada through. Look what it meant to Jesse Marsh and his staff. Now, South Africa got anything left. There's not much time left. Interception by Johnston.
Está aqui, ó.
The Canada celebrations are already almost into the fourth of the minimum of 5 extra minutes. Well, he was captain at the start of today. He gave up the armband when Alphonso Davies came on. But leadership role from Ezekiel. First goal for Canada in 2.5 years. And what a time to get it. Seconds, a little more, following the Canadian celebrations to be played. Put it out. Canada fans really finding their voices now. Absolutely had another look. The technique was perfect, keeping it down. The volley, not easy when there's players on rushing. See what it means to that. We're in the 95th minute now. Johnston struggling to get there for Canada, but helped out importantly in that right back berth. referee signalling it's going to be an extra minute to be added on to the initial 5 shown. It's now or never for South Africa. And they create one big chance. Away by Cornelius. Woodell. Gullion crossing now. Boyce. Shallow, comfortable defending for Canada. And they may well have done enough. Canada want the referee's full-time whistle. We play on. Last opportunity surely for South Africa. In it will come. Goalkeeper takes all the pressure off his defenders. And that should be enough for Canada. The co-hosts playing outside of their home nation for the first time at this World Cup. After finishing runners-up in Group B, about to eliminate the runners-up in Group A, South Africa. What a run for Jesse Marsh, and for the oldest man to ever be a head coach in a World Cup knockout game. It seems the end of the road for Hugo Broos and South Africa. And it is elimination for Bafana Bafana. But Canada, in
Bagus.
are sailing into the last 16. Thanks to the dramatic late goal from Stephen Escagio. A wonderful right foot shot that gave Rowan Williams no chance. And there can be no arguments the better side on the day has won. South Africa were looking for 30 minutes extra time. But denied in the end with a goal in stoppage time. Finishes in Los Angeles in the round of 32. South Africa 0, Canada 1. Canada still have momentum. Can't underestimate the difference in the arrival of Alfonso Davies, almost as if his teammates put their chests out and they really believe in
Biasa. Ya, sekian ya untuk episode pagi hari ini untuk pembuka 32 besar. Semoga juga Kanada bisa lolos ke 16 besar dengan gol akhir oleh Estakio. Dan kita kembali lagi di jam 12 malam Rabu ya. Baik sekali kena maraton pas sampai. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Fiks, see you. Bye bye.
absolutely terrific. They will not be apologetic for the way they played.